Welcome to this session on accounting fundamentals. In this step, we'll explore the very first stage of the accounting process, identifying and recording financial transactions in business operations. This step forms the foundation of all accounting activities because accurate identification and proper recording are the starting points for creating reliable financial statements. Let's begin by understanding what kinds of business events are recorded and how they are documented. Here's what we'll cover in this session. First, we'll learn about transaction identification, understanding what counts as a financial transaction. Next, we'll study recording criteria, which tells us which business events should actually be recorded. Then we'll move on to journal entries, learning how to record financial transactions properly. And finally, we'll see practical examples to connect these concepts with real world business situations. Accounting starts the moment a financial transaction takes place. Every event involving money, whether it's sales, purchases, or payments, must be captured systematically. This ensures accuracy and completeness in business records. Let's look at the foundation principles. Financial transactions are events where money moves or changes hands, such as buying goods, paying salaries, or receiving cash. And chronological recording means every transaction should be recorded in the exact order it happens. Together, these two principles maintain the accuracy and flow of financial information in any business. Not every business activity is a financial transaction. Some events impact the company financially while others don't. Financial transactions are those where money or its equivalent changes hands. For example, paying salaries, selling goods, or receiving payments. These must be recorded because they have a direct business impact and can be measured in monetary terms. But non financial events like hiring employees, signing contracts, or attending meetings don't involve immediate money exchange. So they aren't recorded in accounting books. The rule is simple. If it doesn't affect the company's finances or can't be measured in rupees, it's not a recordable transaction. Now let's apply these rules through examples. We record a transaction only when a monetary exchange has occurred. For instance, buying office furniture for 10,000 rupees because money has been spent, selling goods worth 5,000 rupees since revenue has been earned, paying salaries as cash has gone out of the business. However, we don't record events like attending meetings, hiring a new employee, or receiving a customer order without payment. These actions might be important for business operations, but they don't have an immediate financial impact, so they aren't part of accounting records. Once we identify which transactions to record, the next step is entering them in the journal, also known as the book of original entry. The journal is where all financial transactions are first recorded in chronological order before being transferred to ledgers. Each entry includes the date of the transaction, the accounts affected, the debit and credit amounts, and a short narration explaining the entry. Every transaction must follow the double entry principle affecting at least two accounts. This creates a permanent and reliable record that helps maintain transparency and accuracy. Slide 7. Let's see what a standard journal entry looks like. Each entry shows the date, the account names, the debit and credit amounts, and a short explanation. For example, on January 15th, 2024, if a company buys furniture worth 10,000 rupees for cash, the entry will be furniture account, debit 10,000 rupees to cash account, credit 10,000 rupees with the narration being furniture purchased for cash. Similarly, if on January 16th, 2024 goods worth 5,000 rupees are sold for cash, the entry becomes cash account, debit 5,000 rupees to sales account, credit 5,000 rupees. This method ensures clarity, order, and accuracy in financial reporting. Here's a simple step-by-step process to record transactions correctly. Step 1. Identify the transaction. Check if the event involves a monetary exchange and can be measured in rupee terms. Step 2. Analyze account effects. Determine which accounts are affected and decide which one to debit and which to credit. Step 3. Record in journal. Write the entry in the journal with proper date, account names, and narration. Step 4. Verify accuracy. Finally, ensure the total debits equal total credits before transferring entries to the ledgers. Here's a golden rule in accounting. If it's not recorded, it doesn't exist in accounting. This principle highlights the importance of proper documentation. Every financial transaction that affects the business must be recorded systematically. If it's missing from the books, it's as if it never happened, at least in accounting terms. Recording every valid transaction ensures transparency, auditability, and compliance with accounting standards. Thank you for learning with us. Understanding how to identify and record financial transactions is the very first step in building accurate accounting records. Remember, without correct transaction identification, even the best financial statements can be misleading. So, always ensure your records are clear, complete, and based on real monetary events. In the next step, we'll explore how these recorded transactions are classified and summarized into ledgers and financial statements.